Hello, everyone. David and David here, and happy Valentine's Day. We're going to talk about something we know our audience loves, and that's new iOS updates, and this one is very important.
And why? Because Apple just admitted that there has been a big security problem with iPhones for a little while now, and that some of it has been actively exploited, although that they haven't said exactly how it's been used. But it's out there. It's happening now. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, the update is iOS 16.3.1. There are 3 bug fixes. The first, iCloud settings may be unresponsive or incorrectly displayed if apps are using iCloud.
Okay, that's kind of boring, though. Yeah, iCloud settings may be unresponsive. Okay, keep going, David.
Yeah. Another boring bug fix, Siri requests for Find My may not work.
It's just boring.
This one is interesting. Crash detection optimizations for iPhone 14 and 14 Pro models. So there's been a lot of stories, crash detection going off when people are on roller coasters, when people are skiing. Maybe this will cut down on those false reports that we've been seeing.
Yeah, I hope so. And somebody in our Discord actually brought up the fact that their Apple Watch sometimes gets triggered accidentally. And I wonder if that's going to optimize that as well. I'm not sure when they push out those updates, but yeah, it's good. They're going to keep pushing this out until they fix it. Now that they have more data. I don't think their developers went to amusement parks and tried it before they rolled it out.
Yep.
But then the most important part is the critical security update that was released. Go ahead, David.
Yep, critical security update, kernel flaw that affects every Apple device upon which iOS and iPadOS 16 can run has been fixed. That could allow an app to execute arbitrary code with kernel privileges, and a Safari flaw that fixes an issue where malicious web pages could allow for arbitrary code execution.
So that's what Apple says, and if we break it down just a little bit, a kernel flaw, kernel is the sort of the underlying software that everything runs on top of on your iPhone. So if there's a problem with that allows an app to execute arbitrary code, aka do stuff it's not supposed to, then that is a huge problem for your iPhone. Now, Apple has admitted that that specific piece of this has been actively exploited. They do admit that the Safari flaw that exposes an issue where a malicious web page could allow for arbitrary code execution. I'm not exactly sure how that's been used, but they are saying that it has been used. And that's why it's so important that everybody download iOS 16.3.1 right now. Point now.
Just keep in mind that if you install this update, there have been a lot of people saying that it breaks Google Photos on their iPhone. That's something that Apple or Google would fix relatively quickly, but just be aware of that.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's a reason not to do it because, okay, I might not be able to use Google Photos for a day until they fix it, but I'm also patching a big security hole. So let's show people what they should do on their actual phones. And Zach, I will share my screen. So on your phone, David, you want to walk me through it?
Go open up settings.
I'll go open it up.
Scroll down to Safari.
Okay, well, that's the first thing we can do. Yep.
And then scroll down and tap Clear History and Website Data.
So clearing will remove history, cookies, and other browsing data. History will be cleared from other devices. Sign into your iCloud account. This is kind of a preventative measure. Apple doesn't say to do this specifically, but they do say to update the software in your phone. This is just good hygiene, I think. Close tabs? Why not? See you later.
What's the second thing we're doing?
We're going to update the software on our phone, David.
Well, that makes sense. Let's go back to the main page of settings and scroll up to General. Tap Software Update. And wait for this update. It should say download and install or install now. If the update has already been downloaded, tap on that.
Right.
And while we're here, tap on automatic updates at the top. And definitely make sure that I can't see clearly what it is, rapid security responses and something files, turn that switch on too.
You sound like a real pro, David. Security responses and system files is the switch to turn on, but it does automatically install rapid security responses. I'm not sure if Apple pushed out a rapid security response that was automatically installed with this update because they're saying that the kernel fixes are part of iOS 16.3.1, but I'm not sure what could be more urgent than a kernel flaw that they found. So I think more will be revealed about this. Let's take a look at some of the comments where people are saying a bunch of wonderful
Carrie Penrod
things.
got 8 crash warnings from my son snowboarding one day because of his Apple Watch. Yet that's
that makes sense.
Good.
Yeah, well, hey, if I was a snowboarder, you get more than 8. But hey, that's what's fun about skiing and snowboarding. Crash, crash, crash. So George says that Google Photos is fixed already. App update earlier this morning in Ireland.
Excellent.
And so does Freedom Matters 1776. Google Photos app no longer crashes on iOS if you updated the app. So make sure that you go to the App Store and update the Google Photos app if you do have that problem after you update iOS. But the iOS update is the most important thing. So today is Valentine's Day, and Zek, I think, put out a poll already, right? Yep. He said, do you have a Valentine? And how are we doing so far in this poll? I can't see it. I can only see 64% say no.
64% no. That would mean 36% yes.
Yes. David, you have a Valentine.
Yep.
Any plans for Valentine's Day?
I got a wife. I'm probably just going to go out for dinner.
Okay. That's nice. Yeah. I got a wife, whatever. I got a Valentine.
Yeah.
Yep, romantic. Hey, you, Jay Folan. Thanks for the information. You guys are awesome, says Rich. We agree.
Toledo 08, is the battery any better? I haven't really had any battery issues with iOS 16.3. So, I mean, if you've had battery issues, updating the software generally can help fix that.
Sometimes. But if you're having battery issues every single time you update, then you might have a problem with your phone. And you should check out one of our battery videos where we walk you through how to fix those problems. Yep. Because it might be a little deeper than just a software update. Usually it's a settings problem, right, David? If we have system settings.
Yeah.
GPS
Something going on with your settings.
Yep.
Optimize the settings on your iPhone should do more than any minor software update will.
Yeah. The security update that Apple announced, they always do it kind of quietly, but it is a big deal this time around. Mm-hmm. Especially when you start seeing these little 16.3.1s. You start getting more dots in the iOS version. Typically, that means that it's some really important security update that couldn't wait until 16.4 to be fixed. So,
interesting question from Alexander F. I don't use Safari on my iPhone, but should I still clear the cache for my device as well?
All right. What do you think?
Probably not. I mean, if you're not using Safari, the issue is isolated to Safari. I don't know if that...
Let's just say it can't hurt.
Right, yeah.
So why not, right? Sometimes you'll free up some system data too. Mm-hmm. Michael says he's coming from us from Montreal, just a few hours north of us, where he's patiently waiting for the update. Keep waiting, Michael. It'll get there soon. Yeah, Rich asks Alexander F., which browser do you use? And today's post, bug I've noticed, app group disappears if it is at the bottom right corner while trying to move an app into it. Only way to get an app into it is to first move the group, then place the app, and then put it back. Interesting. I don't use an app group in my bottom right-hand corner, so can't speak to that.
I don't either.
See, Alexander also says that he uses Chrome and Brave. Zek introduced me to Brave. It was developed, I think, by the Firefox team, right, Zek?
Yeah, original.
Yep, the people who built Firefox developed it, the original founder, I believe, and it's supposed to be a lot lighter, no bloatware, all the things they always promise with these new browsers, faster. But so far, Zek's experience has been good with it, definitely. Howdy, howdy, Mike Wheeler, one of our YouTube channel members, active in the chat.
We've got an excellent question here from the Shadow Master.
All right.
Should I immediately start the update now? I'm watching the stream on my phone. No, wait for the stream to end and then install the update.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, or come back after it's done.
Or come back.
Yeah. Or you know what? Do it on your phone. Join the stream on your computer at work. You're at work. You're typing. Yeah, just open it on a few different devices and share it with your friends. There's a lot of ways to keep watching us while you're, improving security of your iPhone and other products. Freedom Matters says, is there a more secure private browser to use on an iPhone rather than Safari? I think it's debatable, but I would say no. At this point, Safari is pretty good with user privacy. I would trust it more than Chrome, for instance. Brave, though, I think is probably pretty secure. But Safari is a good record.
I mean, I don't know if you have any thoughts on like using a Tor browser on an iPhone.
Yeah, I mean, that could work.
In terms of privacy.
Tor only protects you. I mean, it protects your IP address. But there are other ways that people can use. So Tor is, what does it stand for? The Onion Relay. Tor was developed by the military for people who don't know about Tor. And it essentially ping-pongs your IP address across all these different servers in the world. So the website that you're visiting doesn't know where you're coming from. So it's kind of like a VPN, but there's a lot of different relays. And they change all the time. The drawback to Tor is that it's slow. I've never seen Tor be nearly as fast as a regular browser or even a VPN. So, I mean, you could. Also, Tor gives you access to the dark web. That's what it's called, right? The deep web, the dark web, the Silk Road, all those illegal, those underground sites where you can order drugs and other things that the government is actually watching. And those sites just get shut down and all the people get arrested. So I don't know how to do that stuff safely. Don't do it. I also don't buy drugs. So whatever. Drugs are bad.
So in conclusion, I think you're pretty safe with Safari.
Right. Now, also, I'm a proud graduate of the DARE program, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. They came to our classroom and they said, listen, guys, you really should not do all of these things that will make you feel great. Whatever you do, stay away from cocaine. It's like, hey, I learned a lot. Thanks, DARE. I don't think they do that anymore.
Oh, they do.
They do?
They do. They changed their whole programming, yeah.
Yeah.
Jury's still out on whether or not the new program's effective, but the old one was not.
Yep. Yep. That's why I've always got the sniffles, right, David?
Yeah.
All right. Top right indicators, battery, Wi-Fi, cell reception disappear sometime from the lock screen on wake up from sleep. That's interesting. That sounds like a little software bug.
I've had that before, too. I think it's just a minor software bug, and usually if you lock your phone, it doesn't take too much to get it back.
No, it certainly doesn't. Certainly does not. David, have you been to The View yet in Lake Placid?
The View?
Yeah, the restaurant.
No.
It's really good. You should check that out. It's at Mirror Lake Inn.
Yeah, I thought you meant I thought you were asking me about the TV show, and I was like, no.
No, they don't have a version in Lake Placid.
No.
If they did, I'd be there all the time.
They don't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gphoto updated. Man, we got to stay on top of this stuff. Our audience is way more on top of this with the Google Photos app.
We were spending the morning getting the technical setup of this stream together.
Right. Which is...
I can't be reading the Google Photos. I actually checked this morning. I tried to download Google Photos on my phone and ran out of time. I had to see if it was working. But yeah, well, thank you all for letting us know that Google Photos is up and running.
Right. And being nice about it. Email client at most times will not start back from the last point it was closed. So sometimes I open mail, go to inbox after reading it, and then close out the app. That's interesting. I assume you're talking about the mail app on your phone. The way iPhones work is that if you're using other apps, if the phone runs out of memory, it flushes out the apps that you're not using right now. Maybe you're a gamer. So then when you open it up, it's going to start fresh. If you use some light game and it doesn't run out of RAM, it doesn't have to clear that out. That's the automatic memory management thing. Sounds like that's a normal thing. Deadly Zombie asks, is it okay to reboot your iPhone daily? The answer is yes. You can reboot it minutely if you want to. Not going to cause
I wouldn't do that because you're not really using your phone at that point. But yeah,
well, you're using it.
Daily's fine.
Yeah, daily's fine.
Yeah, I guess you are. I mean, that could be an interesting video, though, like set the world record for most daily iPhone reboots.
Yeah, take that, Mr. Beast.
I don't know.
I rebooted my iPhone.
Has Mr. Beast done that yet?
77,000 times in one day.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. There's a viral topic. Write that one down.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's good. Write it down, Zach. That's a good one. So, yeah, should we talk about another?
Let's just hit on this last question real quick. When you clear history to put your passwords back in when you log into places,
I'm going to try to
always be kind.
You should. As I find this, you answer the questions, David.
When you clear history, no, you don't. I mean, do you?
Boom. So when I said you answer the questions, I meant you answer the questions.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, all my passwords are saved in the passwords section of my iPhone. So if you log back in, it takes about 2 seconds.
Yes, you do have to. You don't have to put them in though if they're stored in iCloud Keychain. Like you don't lose your iCloud Keychain or Keychain data, but you will have to relog into the websites. It's blinking in here, David. I'm going blind.
Yeah,
that's good news for us.
Jocko is back with a tech question. Yeah. Last time Jocko asked us a question, we didn't know the answer, so we had to ask the Chat GPT AI voice assistant. We'll see if we can get this one. Tech question. Could all generations of Macs, iPhones, etc. technically keep working if not for updates, planned obsolescence? My OG Game Boy still works.
Of course. But I mean, it's not like they stop working when the software updates are unsupported. They just work badly. So absolutely they could. Macs, you can downgrade. And this is where I get mad at Apple. Because I had an iPad, 4th generation, for instance, that became extremely slow when it updated to the last available version of iOS that was supported for that model. But then I couldn't downgrade it. So I just wanted to be able to use the iPad like it was when it came out of the box. Fast, zippy, useful. Instead, I was stuck with this slow as dirt thing that was really not even useful because I would type a note and the keyboard would lag. And when I first got it, it was super zippy because there was less software. So, yeah, I just don't like Apple's policy on that. I think that they should let people downgrade. They should let people use a product the way it came out of the box. Your thoughts, Steven?
I mean, I guess it technically could keep working. I actually have my iPad is running iOS 6 or iPad OS 16. It's really slow. I wish I could downgrade it. Yeah, I mean, I guess my other thought would be, I don't know, the batteries that are currently in Macs, iPhones, iPads, they do have an expiration date. At some point, they probably just wouldn't turn on anymore, right?
They don't have an expiration date, but they will stop working eventually.
Right.
Yeah. Expiration date, that sounds like a conspiracy, David.
I know. I don't know if that's true for Game Boys or not. I know there are some issues with the some of the game old game cartridges. Cartridge is...
Oh, boy. You say cartridge, and I say... Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I would just keep using the old stuff. They absolutely should keep working. Just very poorly because of the software updates.
I mean, yeah, like if we unboxed an original iPhone right now, it would turn on, we could use it. It just...
Yep, I think we've made the point.
We got it.
Yep, let's go to a question answered, $4.99. I hope you got your value from that. Apple privacy settings lawsuits. David, this was your one that you found. Why don't you set it up for us?
Yeah, interesting story. A 4th privacy lawsuit filed against Apple. Apple harvested data, including detailed real-time information about everything you're doing in certain apps. Not only things you type or tap on, but even how long you spend on certain pages and ads and content you see, according to the test. In some cases, this could pose a serious privacy concern. In the App Store, for instance, searches and downloads for specific apps can reveal anything from a user's sexual orientation to religion to sensitive health problems like addiction or substance abuse.
Sure. Yeah, but that's not all. We have more information. Apple's privacy policy says all this data is anonymous and none of the collected information identifies you personally. Additional tests showed, however, that the data collected by the company includes a permanent unchangeable ID called a Directory Services Identifier, DSID, which is directly tied to your full name, phone number, birth date, email address, and more information linked to your iCloud account. So, I think the jury's out. A lot of times these articles are written with kind of the worst case scenario in mind. I'm not sure if Apple actually leaked any of that information behind the DSID or abused it, but they collected the data for sure. I've always felt that, though, about the sexual orientation stuff, especially, where if companies can target you based on, like I see those ads, you've probably seen those ads, like, am I gay or whatever, right? Now, I already knew the answer to that question, right? But when I see those ads on other people's phones, if somebody clicks on it, then they can be targeted based on the fact that they clicked on that ad. And then they can be shown more ads, and as they're scrolling through their thing, if maybe a family member sees a bunch of those ads, it could be another one, and it could be even these innocuous topics. I think David and I were at a conference where someone mentioned women's underwear as a topic. So women's underwear is not a sensitive topic to most people who are buying it. Usually it's women who are buying underwear for themselves. But if a guy is into women's underwear and he goes to a women's underwear site, it could raise a flag to a coworker if he's scrolling through something and it's just a bunch of women's underwear ads. I don't know.
Well, I think there was also the story where the dad found out his daughter was pregnant,
right, based
on some of the ads she was seeing. Mm-hmm. Where I forget exactly how it worked, but she was being targeted these certain pregnancy ads, and the father's like, "Why is my daughter seeing these ads?" Like, "Oh, she's pregnant," and
that was bad.
That was not great.
Yep. Yeah, so you have to be careful with that stuff. I think that's the best reason sometimes to turn off the ad tracking, is so that you don't see those, because personalized ads, companies want to tell you that they're, there's no downside to it. It's, you're going to see an ad anyway. Why not see one that's relevant to you? But the answer is that sometimes the things that we're searching for are not things that we want everybody to know about. Or in my case, I don't need to be reminded about the microphone I chose not to buy every day. Like, I chose not to buy it. That was hard enough. I don't need to now see ads for it on every website that I visit, because then that's just tempting me more.
And the company, Misk, who's doing this testing, found that the same privacy problems on the iPhone persist on Mac laptops. So if you have an iPhone, a Mac, probably an iPad too, you are privacy issues.
Privacy issues, we'll see. This is how it always works with Apple and all these tech companies, is they get caught and then they apologize, change the policy, get sued by some group of lawyers in a class action suit. The lawyers get really rich and the rest of us get nothing. So, but it's good that they get caught, at least. They really shouldn't be collecting information that is supposed to be secure.
People in our chat might have a $20 check coming their way pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that.
And just to be clear, there's no rumor of a $20 check coming anybody's way, right?
No.
We just made that up. Okay. Let's hope. Let's take a look at the chat. There's been a lot of... Where should we start? Let's go up to the top. George P., AVS Forums, posted that Netflix released spatial audio, and in order for it to work, you need to deactivate Dolby Atmos. That's interesting. Spatial audio, need to deactivate Dolby Atmos, I assume, on your phone? Interesting. When I got my phone, the capacity was 86%. Is that okay? If it was new, no. I mean, maybe technically, but I'd return it. If not, then no. Mike Wheeler says, wish they would fix the double dictation bug. And Mike, I think that I don't use dictation as much as you do. I haven't seen that bug, but I know that a lot of people have. Maureen says, sometimes when I'm watching YouTube, the screen goes black, but still have sound. Sounds like a connection issue, perhaps. Sometimes YouTube will disregard the video and keep the audio if you run out of bandwidth. Dominic says the battery in my iPhone 13 Pro doesn't last long since iOS 16.3. I've had the battery about 6 months. The battery condition is 94%. And I think that's about what I've got right now. So it sounds like your battery condition is fine, like the physical battery. If it's at 96%, you're right on course.
Yeah, I mean, 6 months, 94%. I mean, that's good. That sounds pretty standard.
You're right, supposed to be, yeah. Right where you're supposed to be, pal. What is the issue, Jack Stone? I've had the problem with iPhone 13. Wake up, turned off, don't know what happened. Went to your fixed videos, and now you're here, Gary. Welcome. Max.
All right.
Hey, guys. Hey, Max. Nate says they need to fix the battery charging bug. Hamid says, such a lovely guys. Of course. I use DuckDuckGo. That is good. A search engine. Black Market. Firefox Focus. I'm not familiar with that brand of Firefox. Does the Chrome browser have the same issues? No.
Not that we're aware of.
No.
They probably have other issues, but not these specific ones that this specific software update fixes.
Right. Developer mode turned on, but it doesn't show the settings below the TV provider. What happened? Sometimes it has a way of turning itself back off. You have to go to Settings, Privacy, Developer Mode, and flip that switch first to enable Developer Mode on your phone after you enable it on your computer, and then it should show up under TV provider. Someone asked what the best search is. DuckDuckGo, Google, Bing. David?
I use Google.
As do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Google's probably your best bet right now. ChatGPT is great and entertaining, but sometimes wrong.
Oftentimes wrong, yeah. I mean, have you ever used DuckDuckGo? I haven't used it very much. I feel like the actual results that I got were not always great.
Yeah, I don't know. Usually, I'm not too concerned about my privacy when I am searching Google. I think that's the main reason I don't worry about it, because I've gone into Google and turned off all of those Google settings that identify me and the personalized ads and the history and the what and all that stuff. So, yeah, I don't really care. I just want the best search and the fastest search. I've also found that Google's faster. Someone says hello from Northern Ireland. What update are you guys waiting on? Love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day to Northern Ireland. I bought the country and the people. I bought my iPhone 13 Pro nearly 1 year ago. Now the battery capacity is 94%. Yes, that is great. Sarah, love you too. Allergies? Sure. Dare for bears. There's that new movie, Cocaine Bear, right? Maybe that bear could have used Dare.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the ads for that. Yeah. Probably not going to see that one, especially in theaters.
Yeah.
It seems fun. Could be fun.
Right. Liv says allergy meds for the sniffles, even if you don't have an allergy. Because that's a load of fun. I already updated my iOS, so I'm good to go. Way to go, Rocket League champion. Wise Owl says there's now an update for Apple Watch 9.3.1. Good to know.
I have to install that.
All you people should definitely watch Titanic Remastered with HFR or HDR and 3D for the 25th anniversary. What a classic. It is a classic, George. I actually cried in the movie theater for Titanic. I was 12.
Kind of long.
No, it was awesome. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I cried. Poor Jack.
Yeah.
12-year-old David sitting in the movie theater, just edge of my seat. Man.
Was that 94, Titanic?
No, it would have been 96 or 7.
96, yeah.
Yeah, you were too. Did you go to the movie theater?
In the original cut, no. In the original cut, they screwed up the stars, and then the astrophysicist came in and said, the stars in Titanic aren't accurate. And James Cameron said, I don't care. And then when they reissued it, they actually fixed the stars in the sky. So that's of
course he cared
in the films.
It's James Cameron. Yeah, he's not going to admit it, but those stars, somebody got fired. The stars are wrong.
Yep.
Oh, let's see here. Question. My Nest app works well on Mac and iPhone. However, it won't stay connected on my iPad. Any ideas? My idea would just be to delete it and reinstall it and re-authenticate with Google, because sometimes those OAuth things, because it's a Google app, it's just got to reinstall it, start from scratch. It's the best way to do it. Lady Truth says, also, Nest app, make sure that you're on the same Wi-Fi network. I know that it might seem like you're not, but sometimes there's a 5 gigahertz, a 2.4 gigahertz. If the iPad's on one, the Mac and the iPhone and the Nest are on the other one, then you could have an issue. Lady Truth says, I have a hacker from phone to phone. I've changed my services, email, phone numbers. Who do I go to see? It's been 5 or 6 years.
Law enforcement?
Yeah, unfortunately. We can...
A PI?
Yeah. Yeah. We can't really speak to that. I wish we could. Wish we could offer more advice. Today's post, the mail issue doesn't happen on the Android or Outlook app, just the default iOS app. And yeah, so I think it's probably just an app issue. Sometimes the mail app works. It has a database on the phone. If you do a reset all settings on your phone, it might clear that out and might reset that database. There could be an issue with that database. I've seen that before. You can also try toggling on and off a specific email account if you're having a problem with one, or deleting that account and re-downloading your mail as long as it's not a POP server. Martine asks, do you have a bud on setting Safari advanced experimental features? And people have been asking us for this video for a little while because there's a whole lot of stuff in there that's very complicated. And to be honest, I don't know what every single thing in that menu does. A lot of development options. Ooh, it's blinking again. That means we got another super chat, David.
George Websdale, I believe that's the Euro, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Great work, guys. Love the live chats. Learned so much from you guys since moving to iOS, George.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
We sure do. And yeah, I think that is the Euro. We're a couple of cultured gentlemen. George, I like your profile picture. It's kind of... Yeah, it's good. Have you been to the gun show lately? All right. There.
Really appreciate all the activity in the chat today. I just hope we can get to everyone. We're doing our best.
Yeah, we're rocking it, I think. We're doing pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Well, we're doing pretty good. I just looked and see how many we have to go. Mark Holden says, hi. Hi, tripod. I still have my iPhone 6 from 2014. It's weird. My battery still works. It's on 88%. You guys are both
Excellent.
giggling in the background. That means that I don't know what's going on. I still have do you have an episode on being hijacked on Facebook? No.
Hijackers. No.
Nope. But love your TV show. Mark Holden. I guess Deadly Zombie says, thank you. Think I'll make a video of the bugs and see what people think. Always a good idea.
That'd be a really cool thing, actually, if you get a screen recording of that and put it in our Discord.
Yeah.
So we can all see what it looks like and we give you some feedback. There's a link to our Discord in the description section of this video.
Yeah, I can drop one in too.
Put that right in the chat.
Boom.
While you're doing that, Freedom Matters. In your opinion, do you think Apple will stop making iPhones anytime soon? I'm guessing they will at some point. Curious to hear your thoughts. I mean, not in the near future. I mean, the iPhone is their flagship product. I think we're going to be getting several new iPhones every year until the next big thing that replaces the smartphone comes along.
Yeah, I think so too. They're smart enough not to stop doing what makes them a lot of money. They keep trying other things. They'll try different variations of iPhones, and we've already seen them stop making certain models like the Mini. But the idea of the iPhone is going to be around for a while. Until, like, as David said, I mean, the iPod went the way, and it was absorbed by the iPhone. The iPhone said, I'll take that. Thank you. So maybe there'll be a product eventually that absorbs the iPhone. But
yeah, I mean, I think if anything, the iPhone is going to be absorbing other products just because iPhone is their flagship product. And I don't see it going away anytime soon.
All right. Martine, me too. Question. Is Apple supporting security updates on iPhone 7? That is a good question for Apple. I don't know off the top of my head.
Not sure.
Yep. I don't want to give an answer and have it be wrong and then have you get hacked. K. Brown, how to get iCloud contacts updated when it still hangs onto contacts that you no longer need. It really shouldn't still have contacts that you no longer need if you're deleting them. I would go to iCloud.com/contacts, I think, or just iCloud.com and find contacts. Delete it from there because that's your master iCloud account. If it's gone from there, it should update on every one of your devices. If it doesn't, then you have a problem with the iCloud connection on that device. Try that. I'll update later, says Shadowmaster. Do I need to clear stuff or can I get straight to updating when the time comes? Go right for it.
Straight Yeah,
Wait
I don't
for the
think it was a
update.
particularly large update. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I'm skipping these gang top. I don't know what that means. Go to your iCloud on a PC and clean them out on there. Hey, Crow, I already said that. Oh my gosh. Renee, Q. Where's the Q, Renee? We just got a Q. The letter Q. As soon as I installed the newest iOS update, my Google Photos crashed, but there's an update, so all is well. Absolutely. My typos. At least you're maintaining sort of an presence for that. That's nice. Crow, thank you. Apparently, Crow already took care of Kay's problem. I just answered it for no reason. We're too slow, David. One of the first things they did was dump all my old deleted emails back into my email. Well, that's not good. RL, iPhone 8 still working great. Of course it is.
Not for long.
It rhymes with great. In Hawaii, they say life's great in the 808, but then I realized that works for any area code that ends with 8. So,
yeah,
life's great in the 518. Why not? Haha, take that. You can keep your palm trees and your beautiful water.
Sure.
Sandy, we love you too. Channel/guys. Okay, I've updated everything, says MDP. I can't tell what your profile picture is. Good morning, great channel. You've helped me a lot. Future. The Future has a profile picture that says 2013. It's kind of a interesting juxtaposition there. Depends on what you define as working great. Ain't that the truth? Facebook hijacked despite 2FA. Do you have an episode we can refer to? Sadly, Facebook isn't responding. Yeah. So, Wendy, I think what we can refer you to are our upcoming video about security keys, because Apple is supporting security keys now, and we have a video that is all set to go about them. Right here in my hand, I hold 4 different security keys. There were 5, but David snapped one in half. So
I did, yeah.
Yep, because it was so
that it was flimsy.
It was so bad. You would snap it in half in your pocket if it was bad. But the 4 surviving keys are here. We've got the Google Titan one, and then these other ones, some of which have Lightning adapters, some of which are USB-A, USB-C. This will be the solution to those 2-factor authentication problems, because people are getting around it, and security key is the next step. So watch out for that video.
Yeah, coming out maybe later this week. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. We're all set. We've been arguing about a thumbnail. Not arguing, we've been working on a thumbnail. What color should the background be? These are the things we talk about. What color? How do we make people click on it? What do you make of the DuckDuckGo?
Touched on that earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Fine. Don't really like it that much. They play my games, change the settings, lock me out of my store, set up a YouTube off mine. Lady Truth, if it seems like someone is hacking you and it's happening over and over again for years at a time, either someone is hacking you and they're very good, or they're not. And that's something that is beyond the scope of our ability in a live stream to diagnose. So seeking out law enforcement help is great, and other services that might be available online. Jocko says, hit like. Great advice.
Agreed.
Hit share, too. My grandson put his iPhone on the charger last night, woke up this morning and could not get the damn thing to turn on. Do you know what's going on? Yep, he spilled water on it. Okay. Nice. He did something to it. He's not telling you because he doesn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, maybe try a hard reset on that phone, and if that doesn't work, your grandson broke his phone.
Yeah, not my grandson. He's perfect. He would never lie. All right, it's blinking in here again. Sorry, I saw a lot of these phones at the Apple store, a lot of grandsons. It's possible that the phone just has crashed, as David said. And a hard reset will fix the problem. I would try that before going and accusing him of anything. But $20 doesn't even buy a tank of gas. Guess it depends on the tank. Maybe you've got a Vespa. Made it so I can't turn up my volume. Can see what they are doing. Yep. What are they doing? Mitz is here. Have you already talked about my calendar sync issue? Have we? Zach, can we queue up that? Yeah. Maybe we should take a quick break and go to our Discord questions.
Sure.
And then maybe we'll go to a news story, too, because this rapid fire thing is is a lot. Zach, we could do the first one first. First screen. Myth says, why oh why is it that I have to boot my iOS devices almost as often as it is quasi-mandatory with Windows devices? I never needed to boot the first 2 iterations of either iPhone or iPad. Now I find myself doing that on a weekly basis. Question 2, why do contacts never, in words 0, synchronize between iOS devices? And now part 2 of question. So I said, thanks for the questions. He says, I boot because the air doesn't play, but does on other iOS devices, because the app freezes, like YouTube, because the teeth don't blue, meaning there's Bluetooth problems, most notably on Sony headphones and earbuds. They do on other devices. In short, now I boot my iPad on a first action basis, even when it could be another device's fault. The device is a 2018 iPad Pro that runs an average of 13 hours a day, which is hard to believe, but true, he says. I believe it for sure. And I clarified, and it's a problem that happens only on MID's iPhone or iPad and not the iPhone. And they have a iPhone SE first generation. So, I mean, you're having a lot of problems. That's what I'm seeing here. Problems like AirPlay doesn't work. Bluetooth doesn't work. Apps are freezing, like YouTube. I'm at reset all settings already, David, I think. You?
Yeah, I mean, so if you kind of break them down one by one, there are, less big fixes. But when you look at the whole totality of what's going on, I think reset all settings is probably the way to go and see if that fixes some of the problems.
Yeah, I think I would actually start there with this one, right? Because the calendar sync issue sounds different than the Bluetooth/wireless connectivity issues, AirPlay. But I think, so the calendar sync issue might be you need to go into settings, calendars, check the account, make sure that the password is right, make sure everything's working fine, maybe try toggling it off and back on. Sometimes that would fix the calendar issue, but I don't think that's going to touch any of the other issues. So since there are so many issues in so many different areas, I think I'd go right for reset all settings and see where you ended up. If that doesn't work and you're having wireless connectivity problems, obviously for AirPlay devices for Bluetooth devices, unpair them, repair them, disconnect from your home Wi-Fi network and reconnect your device. Could be that because everything seems to be sort of connected to the internet. Calendars, Bluetooth, AirPlay, all network connectivity problems. Sounds like. So maybe a router reset if everything's perfect on, but Bluetooth is not going to have anything to do with the Wi-Fi. Bluetooth can be interfered with by other devices like microwaves. Maybe you live in you work at a microwave plant. I don't know. It's rare. Maybe you live in a building where there's lots of microwaves going on. I don't know. That's a stretch.
That's a real
stretch.
I would start with reset all settings. Let us know where that gets you.
Yep, exactly. Freedom Matters says, is it possible for someone to DDoS you on iPhone? If so, would a VPN permanently prevent that? No. So, no to the VPN. To DDoS you on an iPhone, probably not. I'm not sure how that would exactly work. I've never heard of that, an individual DDoS. So the way DDoSes work is someone tries to take down a website by sending a ton of requests to that website that is more than the server can keep up with, and then the whole server ends up sort of in this crashy, not responsive state because it's got 1,000 websites to generate and send back to it a lot of the time. Denial of service. So for someone to do that to your iPhone, they'd have to have the IP address of your iPhone. A VPN would probably prevent that, but the problem is that a VPN, you've got your home IP address, you're connecting to a VPN, and then whatever website you're seeing is connecting, is going to see the VPN's IP address and not yours. That's true. But if a hacker already has your IP address, they can skip the VPN and just hit you specifically. So that's why I'm going to say that won't work for any sort of permanent solution. It's a good protection, but just because you're using a VPN doesn't mean that somebody can't connect to your personal IP address, because the VPN is connecting to your personal IP address.
I've never heard of anyone DDoSing an iPhone before.
An individual iPhone, yeah. And I
wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, there have to be open ports. Usually routers have firewalls built in. That's where firewalls come in, not VPNs. They add apps. They try to get off. All right. Lady Truth, I don't want to ignore your questions, but it's just beyond the scope of what we can talk about or help you with today. So I don't want to do you a disservice. Is this live, says MB Music Official. What do you think, David? Are we live?
As far as I know, that's a question for Zach.
Zach, are we live?
I think so.
We all say yes, we're live.
All right, good.
However, is your name spelled correctly? Oh boy,
could be official. Could be a
different language. Are there other languages than English, David?
There are.
I guess so. Ash G, how do you force stop an app in iOS? Sometimes bug and apps turn them into zombies and those drain the battery. That's true. Force stopping an app. If you're talking about zombies processes, then you could just hook it up to Xcode on your computer, open instruments, and force quit them manually. Do that. Anybody who's bringing up zombie processes knows a lot. Don Bang, if you clear website cache and data, will your bookmarks be gone? No, sir, they will not.
I don't think so.
Not at all. I'm positive. Ooh, it's blinking in here again. I remember this one. Is this the Swedish dollars? CHF?
CHF? I'm not sure.
The Swiss francs? Swiss francs, I think, is what it was, right?
Swiss francs, yes.
Yes. This is not the first donation we've gotten from.
See You Never says, thanks. We'll try a router reset first. Your logic is just too stunning. Then I'll drink a really large whiskey before I do that reset. And I'll also have to rewatch all of your settings videos.
Or you could just become a member and get the PDFs where we walk you through the settings from our most popular videos. But yeah. Yep, get that whiskey bottle out. You're going to need it. I mean, anybody that has to watch us for that long, they're going to need whiskey at least. Okay, zombie apps drain your battery while you sleep. All right, what about Brave? Brave?
We got a lot of Brave fans in the chat today.
Well, it's new. It's flashy.
Okay. Well,
yeah. People are, oh my gosh.
I'll be honest, I had never heard of Brave before this stream, so I'll have to check it out.
You see, that's...
I'll report back.
Oh, this is so much, it takes a little bit more than that to impress me. Safari sucks? No, it doesn't. I used my iPhone 13 Pro for nearly 10 months. Now the battery health looks 94%. Love you guys from Bangladesh. You too, Michael. And that sounds just fine. Michael Williams says, give me a shout out, please. Well, Michael, no. Why Google search engine? Jamie says, hi, guys. Gary Weinhold, keep up the great job. I learned a lot from you guys. I like these questions. They're just saying nice things to us. DuckDuckGo is spotty. There are many times you can't open the website. Well, I mean, they couldn't even finish the whole word, right? It's DuckDuckGoose. They couldn't even... Firefox let's see. I saw my phone power down when I throw my phone in the closet and the power off. I went to grab it and it was powering down. All right. Don't worry about it. Max Sanchez, Firefox Focus, the privacy browser is your dedicated privacy browser with automatic tracking protection. With Focus, your pages... It sounds to me like you copied and pasted this from somewhere, Max.
I was going to say, it sounds like somebody works for Firefox and is...
your pages load faster.
Browser chat.
Your data stays private with Firefox Focus.
That sounds like Brave.
Yeah. You really should work for Firefox if you don't already. If that's not copied and pasted, then Max has a career in copywriting ahead of him. Upgraded from 11 Pro Max to 14 Plus for the advertised longest battery life. My battery lasts longer on the 11.
Yep, 14 Plus especially, that phone is terrible.
Come on, David, it's not terrible.
The 14 Plus?
It's a plus.
I'd rather have the 11 Pro. I'd rather have the 11 Pro Max.
Oh man. Well, the 14 I'm sure he feels great about himself now. Great job, David. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the 14s, the battery life wasn't as good as earlier models. That was my experience too. So
there you go. You got two people's experience.
I'd return the 14 Plus if you can.
Oh, geez. Right, Josh, moving on. Me and my iPhone 13 Pro Max bought it 28th of December 2021, but it's at 98%. Well, you got yourself a good battery. Let me tell you that.
Sure did.
Hey, from West Virginia, says Scott. Watch you for all my Apple news. We don't really consider ourselves a news channel, do we, David?
No.
I mean, we talk about some news, but we're not primary source.
No.
We're generally just more in the, hey, we have an experience. We'll help you fix problems. We can give you settings advice that come from experience. Then we talk about news more in the live stream because that gives us some fresh content.
Well, the news is hard, too, in the Apple space because a lot of it is based on rumors and leaks, and we don't have any inside sources, and I don't really trust a lot of the other sources. So
I'm not interested in that, really, to be honest. I'm not interested in having people that work for Apple violate their NDAs and send me information ahead of time that may or may not turn out to be true.
Yeah.
I like just this side of it. It's interesting enough. All right, we already answered the VPN question. Brave has all the info. Google has taken things out. Thanks, Darlene. Ash says they'll DDoS the VPN address instead. Only if that's the only one they have. Love your guys' channel. I have an iPhone 13 Pro, says Oral Carter, and your setting recommendations have been a big help. Thank you for saying so. Alex Gomez, do you know the reason Apple canceled their plans to scan iCloud? Did they? Did they totally cancel that? The CSAM stuff?
We put out a video on that back when it was sort of in the news. As we were talking about not being a news channel, we did put a video out on that. I haven't heard anything lately on that that controversy.
I didn't know that
they paused it.
Totally backed off.
I don't know if they officially canceled it. Yeah, I think they just paused.
Right. So there's CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material, which is obviously a serious topic. Apple was going to implement scanning of everybody's iCloud photos for the digital cryptographic signatures of these child pornography photos, which is obviously, great. We want to get rid of child porn. Great. Catch predators. Great. The issue is that it's not 100% accurate, and there is a tolerance for false positives. Also, the weird part to me was that for a photo to be recognized as CSAM, child sexual abuse material, it had to be in two different databases. And these databases are run by governments like the United States and other governments. But I think it's dangerous because if two governments that were in cahoots added photos to it that were, let's say, of a leader that was of a totalitarian regime or something, then those governments could find out groups of people that were sharing specific types of photos, like if they were making fun of President Xi or something in China. And I don't know. It just seemed like there was too much gray area there for me to feel comfortable with it.
Apparently Apple did drop its plan to scan iCloud in December 2022.
That's interesting. You're welcome, everybody. All right. Can I download my iPod Touch 4 untethered? Any ideas? I do not know. That's an older iPod Touch. Hi, guys. I think you have to have... I'm just going to say I don't know. Hi, guys. All the way from Mexico. A friend sells me an iPhone 13 Pro Max with 90% battery health and said, okay, how long will it last? Yes. And it will last 90% of what it was originally. Sort of.
A lot of questions about specific battery health. We could just say real quick that your iPhone should have 80% battery health after 500 charge cycles. So if it's in the 90s, it's probably fine.
Yeah, let's show people our battery shortcut real quick. Could just see what my phone's at. Zek, thank you, sir. If you go to settings and then scroll down to privacy and security, scroll to the bottom, tap analytics and improvements. And we had a question about this too earlier. For this shortcut to work, share iPhone and watch analytics. The switch has to be turned on at the top. Then tap analytics data, and then you'll see all these different analytics ones at the top. Analytics, I'll just pick this one, and I can look at the top and see it's an iPhone one. Tap the share button, scroll down to battery stats, and run it. Takes a second because it's a big log file. So my phone, come on. Original maximum capacity, 3342. My current maximum capacity is 3219 after 83 cycles. Relative to when it was new, my battery capacity is 96.32%. But I'm not sure. What is the iPhone 14 Pro battery rating? 14 Pro battery.
I'm not sure.
Battery 3200. All right. So, Zach, come on back to me. So, let's do a little prediction here. So, if we look at this and we say, let's see, my current maximum capacity is 3219. The rated capacity for this phone battery is 3200. So 3219 divided by 3200 means that I'm at 100.05% battery life. And Apple always rounds down. You're never going to see 101% battery health. But if I go to battery health, I'm willing to bet that it's 100%. Oh my gosh. Come on. Oh boy, this is working great. Okay, back to main page of settings. Back to the main page of settings. Battery and battery health at 100%. So I'm right there. I'm about to fall underneath 100%. What do you think, David?
Yeah.
Thanks. Is it true Snapchat only produces full HD videos on iOS but not on Android? I have no idea. Do you?
I don't use Snapchat, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, sorry. Jen says, okay, downloading 13.6.1. It is Swiss. See you never. Swiss, yes. We figured that out after a Google search and remembering from your last donation. I think you're great, personally. Thank you for donating. Oh, man. Did we get to Yvonne? She left a super chat and then she deleted it. Deleted the message. Kept the chat. So
all right.
You.
Well, Yvonne, if you have a question you want to throw out or message, we will keep an eye out for that in the chat and just let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, there's a lot of questions here. David, do you want to take... We've only got, 4 minutes left, right, in the streamish? Because I've been live. I mean, if you want... Oh, George says first grandchild. So, George, your yeah, very nice. Congratulations, George. I love you guys, says April. If you guys have a question that you want to get answered before we're done today, I'm not going to say that we're available for sale, but a super chat would sway us in that direction.
Trevor David from Down Under. Is there an advantage to using 2 VPNs instead of one?
No, probably not. I'd rather use one good VPN than 2 bad VPNs, right? And for a VPN to be good, it's got to be fast, it's got to be trustworthy, it's got to be non-suable by the U.S. group of countries. Made a short video of the issue so you guys can understand better. Is there a way to email us? Just go to our Discord and drop it there. You can upload videos to Discord and in the iPhone chat space or the help space in our Discord. And that's the link is right here, pafo.io/Discord.
Max Sanchez, who was telling us about the Firefox, he said, I did copy it, LOL, put it down as an alternative.
Nice. You guys are all friends here, aren't you? I want you to know how you always come up with a video right after I have an issue. Well, usually with iPhones, the good thing is that when somebody has an issue, a million people have the same issue. So, yeah. We're not stalking you. Cheryl says that was George's grandchild. Cheryl and George, I mean, did they know each other? What's going on here, guys?
I don't know.
Happy Valentine's Day, Cheryl and George. What do you do if you spill coffee on your iPhone, says April. Well, David, you have more experience.
Watch our video and my iPhone got wet.
Yep. Yeah.
Let it air out.
David only spills coffee in laptops.
Hopefully there was no milk or sugar in there because that's really where you're going to be in trouble if you had milk and sugar in your coffee.
Yep. Lori says that we're awesome. Thank you. Is the new SE canceled? Boy, there are a lot of comments here that we are not going to get to. Let's say IAgrams. What do you mean 8 won't be working for long? I think it will.
Here's one that I think is important from Hans Garcia. For anyone who tuned in and missed the iOS 16.3.1, Hans wants to know any thoughts about iOS 16.3.1. Definitely install it after this stream is over, because there are some big security flaws on your iPhone if it's not running this update, and you want to have it. And the main issue was the Google Photos. It caused an issue with Google Photos. That has been fixed. So definitely install the update as soon as you can.
Yeah, everybody leave now and go install the update. Now that the stream is done, I'm going to do it, right? Let's see if we can get our analytics of the stream, David, to just fall off a cliff.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah,
it's great. Yep, good. It's noon, though, so happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
I was going to say, maybe if everyone leaves right now and downloads the update, we can crash Apple's servers.
That's right. If there's anything we'd love to be known for, it's the live stream that crashed Apple's servers. But no, really, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. My Valentine is stuck in a hotel on a work trip. Yeah.
Fun.
Have fun in Worcester, Mass. Yep.
Yeah, not much to do out there.
Yeah. But, yeah, have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will